Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome to the original rock and wrestling radio show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Lane.
Want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing? 1 minute the sun's out, next minute clouds, next minute the bird poops on the car. Live from Studio One, welcome into the show, welcome into the simulcast all the way across the board. Everybody listening in through BeyondRingside.com, as well as the Beyond Ringside radio app, available for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry, as well as the TuneIn radio app, as well as Shoutcast, Winamp, and Ustream this afternoon. Be careful, we may just have new ways to catch us live before it's over with, and for everybody who has been downloading the app, thank you very much. The BR radio app, and I'm not even going to say it, it's just a matter of time. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to pick it up by saying, welcoming in tag team partner Mark Mabo Bowman. What's up, brother? Say what? Okay, now wait a minute. You're playing with guinea pigs, not with cows. You can't on there.
So don't make those. They make those noises.
Either that or wait a minute. The guinea pigs make the noise?
Right now. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know quite what that noise does, but it causes them to scatter.
I've got to ask.
If they're asleep, if they're asleep, they repeat it back. But if they're awake, they run.
Right. I've been dealing with a situation, and it's really not a situation. There's just a topic range been off air for a while about the phone number, and I'm going to lay it out like this. I've had a couple of people ask, and we're not in the practice right now of taking telephone calls live on air. The chat room is open, beyondringside.com. There are a couple of places that have posted our phone number. When we're not on air, or if you try to call in during the regular show, more than likely I'm not going to answer it at that point unless we've got an open topic on the air. If you would, shoot us a message in chat, shoot us a message on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, all of the above. But for right now, I'm holding off on the concept of taking calls live on air, especially after what happened with an audio bomb a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, GilfHunter69, or whatever your screen name was at the time, Ted. From that vantage point.
Also, most of you sound like idiots anyway, and we don't want to talk to you, because it's usually like, hey, you think Sting is going to run in and help Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and SummerSlam? Because you know that other fella in the White family, he going to sneak tag him. That, ladies and gentlemen, was my impersonation of everyone in Palmerdale.
Damn. Hashtag hell damn ass. Now, I was watching a video a little while ago.
Well, hey, we said we weren't going to talk about that.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was watching a different video a little while ago.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I thought you were talking about the ones with the squirrels and the gravy.
Negative. That's your video, not mine, dude.
Hey, I filmed it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's mine.
It's your video, brother.
It's the world's. It's for the world to see.
Okie dokie. Before I lay into that, I do want to go ahead and sit back and say thank you to everybody who's been tuning in over the course of the week. In replay right now, coming all the way through the week from the interview with the Patriot Del Wilkes on Wrestle Rage Radio last Sunday night to the return of Phil Stamper and the return of the Cos, Robert Cosper, this past Tuesday on BR Back to Basics. Got a lot of great things going on, and of course, as the night progresses, want to remind everybody at 9 p.m. Eastern, it will be the brand new edition of Wrestle Rage Radio with Mark Rage and Stan, as well as at 11 p.m. Eastern, the brand new edition of the Midnight Black Mass, starring the Reverend Dan Wilson. Program note for this coming Tuesday, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio will be coming back for one night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yours truly, Matt, along with Dan Sawyer, and got some great surprises coming up for GCW Radio this coming Tuesday night. So for wrestling fans in our home market of Alabama, also Western Georgia, definitely check it out. And beyond ringside,
I can't believe that you're actually having anything to do with Dan Sawyer after the way he's treated you these past months at Global Championship Wrestling. I mean, come on, Eddie. Are you not a man of dignity and principles?
Yeah, but when the owner of the company says I have to split mic time with him, I have to listen.
Look, split mic time or split his pants. Either way, Dan Sawyer, he's human refuse.
Okay. And of course, as I was going to say, Beyond Ringside Back to Basics will be taking over at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern this coming Tuesday night. So it's going to be the Tuesday double play all over again. GCW Radio at 8 p.m. Central. Back to Basics kicks off at 9 p.m. Central. Got a couple of surprises in the works on that side of the board as well. Now, the video that I was watching was the not NXT, what the hell? The Tough Enough Kids learning how to set up a WWE ring.
See, I saw on Lords of Pain where they were there was pictures. I don't know where they put up the video yet.
Yeah, the video's up on site. That's actually where I stumbled across it a little while ago. And they should have already been doing this, in my book. But I give credit where credit is due. Yeah, they should. They are learning. They are doing it. They are learning everything from different sides of it, not just being in-ring talent. Because I'll say it like this: if you try to, and I know a number of promoters who get really ticked off about certain things. Everybody goes out and plays with the ring when it's going up and when it's going down. That's called being a part of the team.
It's also called paying your dues.
Well, yeah, that's a big part of it, too. But, see, therein lies the phrase. Because you bring up the phrase, paying the dues, which a lot of people don't understand that concept in this day and age because everybody feels entitled. I'm giving you $25 a week that I can train. I should be, when am I going to go for your heavyweight title? Dude, really? Hold that thought. And no, that doesn't sound like everybody in Palmerdale.
That's everybody in Pell City.
No, Sylacauga maybe. But, you know, Ed, okay. But from that vantage point, that is two things that I'm seeing a lot of people talking about in social media. And on social media, for that matter, too. The factor that you've got so many people out there who don't understand the concept of paying their dues in this age of entitlement, as well as being a part of the team. I made a Facebook post at 3 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't that count? No! Look, I'm going to say this. There are times when people will get on social media to look as well as make entries. I mean, not everybody just gets on. Not on Twitter just to see what Dana White or Kanye West or insert random useless celebrity here. Not everybody's just going to get on to see. They're gonna go down their timeline, and it's going to be up to you to catch their attention. And some people just don't get it. I mean, I used the phrase the age of entitlement or the entitlement era. Thank you, Vince, for letting me steal that one out from under everybody and paraphrase it. Mabo, you catch the drift on what I'm trying to say, right?
No.
Of course not.
Nope.
Do you feel like you're entitled to not get the...
What?
Do you feel like you're entitled to not get the drift of what I'm saying?
No. I got, I try to stay from those entitlement loans because, they kill you with the...
the interest rate and the payback schedule?
Yeah. Oh, God, they kill you with that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Okay.
But no, well, I mean, I think to me, though, that happens more on a very, very local level. Obviously you don't see that any with, like, You definitely don't see that with WWE or even TN Impact, or even Ring of Honor, Chikara, Paragon. You know, any of the shows that we openly promote on this show.
Right.
You know, I would say even down to, you know, more of the, I don't know if you'd say regionally, but like a Global Championship Wrestling, for instance. I know for a fact that the air quote owner, or owners, the principal owners of Global Championship Wrestling, like if that ever got about, I'm sure that they would definitely nip that in the bud, so to speak. But you know, you've got these ones that, and they, I see them show up mainly on Flyer Friday over on Trash Bag Wrestling. It would be those guys you would see sitting there trying to throw some of them a substantial weight around. Which, by the way, congratulations to Dick Foley. Your 2009, one of your 2009 Flyers made it to Flyer Friday on Trash Bag Wrestling.
Oh,
it was,
no.
Dick, yep, go look it up. It was Dick Foley and taking on Scrapyard Dog, and the Doodly Boys were involved.
Oh, you know who those were.
Huh?
You know who those are.
I do.
The Doodly Boys?
Well, I mean, I know who they're parodying, ding. But, yeah, it was, I saw that, and I was like, at first I was like, Dickles is running the show, and then I thought it was Trash Bag, and I was like, oh, crap. And then I saw the date, and it was like 2009, so. But, what was I saying? Oh, the Trash Bag guys. Yeah, no, those are the ones that are 9 times. No, I'm not talking like Wicked, who showed up on it. I'm talking about the ones who are on these, like, you know, made at home, cheap flyers, no thought put into them. You know, just those are the guys who would sit there and, you know, like you said, oh, I'm paying you $25 and I posted at 3 a.m. I mean, I shouldn't have to carry the, you know, I should, even their heavyweight champion. You know what? If you're going to be the face of the company and or the heavyweight champion, you should be able to, you know, be right along with them. Unless you're, you know, in some kind of meet and greet with the fans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or you were in the main event and you're, you know, tidying up or whatever. You know, you should be tearing that ring down. Or cleaning up, you know, with the chairs or helping something. I mean, that's just my opinion. Because I can tell you right now, if for some reason it was up to, you know, the WWE main roster, if they for some reason had to take down a ring, I can guarantee you would see the likes of John Cena helping take that ring down. You would see, I would even go so far as to say like Randy Orton. You would see these guys who have been the faces of the company. Seth Rollins. I mean, he'd probably need the ring down, but you know, it's called paying your dues. It's called knowing where you stand in the hierarchy, and it's just, you know, that's just something that, you know, like many years ago, I witnessed at an OVW show at Six Flags in Ohio. I sat there, and I was fortunate enough to not speaking with. No. I was listening to Al Snow discuss something, and in the background, everybody, with the exception of Rey Mysterio, and I think CM Punk was there, but it was in the open, you know, because most Six Flags had the Batman Arena. He and Rey Mysterio, he hadn't been called up yet, but it was somebody else. They weren't taking the ring down, but everybody else in the OVW locker room, some of whom who went over to become future superstars, some of whom were already established. If you remember Roadkill from ECW, everybody knew who Roadkill was.
Right.
He was taking the ring down. They were all taking that ring down. So, you know, it's like I say, it's all about, you know, knowing your spot and stuff. And I think it's good, though. I mean, you know, you know, the kids from Tough Enough, Yeah, that's something they should know, is how to take the ring down and put it up. And that's something that, if you think back, we never saw in the previous incarnations. Never saw it with the one that Stone Cold hosted, and I've been going back on the WWE Network for $9.99 and watching the previous seasons, and I never saw them, or the ones I've seen up to and or remember, never saw them learn how to take the ring down or put the ring up. So, you know, I guarantee you, everybody in the NXT locker room knows how to take down the ring and puts it up. And, you know, I'm not sure what their traveling crew looks like, but I guarantee you that they, if they have to pitch in when they do travel, when they do house shows, they know how to do it. So, and by the way, are you watching Tough Enough?
Very rarely.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm enjoying it. And this week's episode, first of all, Cena showed back up with his new Miami Hurricanes gear. You would have never thought the guy had his nose broke or shattered or splattered. It looks pretty much normal. You can't really say anything. So, good for him. But the thing that they were kind of touching upon was connecting with your audience. And someone were fussing about how, you know, I'm putting the time in, I'm getting my cardio up, you know, this, that, and the other. And the only reason why so-and-so and so-and-so get saved is because of their fan base. That's the only reason why they keep getting saved. Yeah, you know why? Because they can connect with the audience. And I think Daniel Bryan even said it. One of them, he said you can teach somebody how to do this, that, and the other. You can teach them how to get in shape. You can teach them how to, you know, do these moves. You know, whether they pick up or not, it's a different story. But you can teach them that. You cannot teach them to be charismatic, and you cannot teach them to connect. And to me, right now, for those of you who are watching it, ZZ and Sarah Lee, or I guess they're just calling her Sarah now. Maybe they had a thing with AJ Lee. I don't know. But those two connect the most with me personally, and probably a bunch of other people, because every time they've been in the bottom three and you had to vote, their numbers were huge. So, you know, because I'm not going to say they're Joe and Jane average, but they know how to connect. You know how to almost see yourself in their position. You know, I'm not 6'7", 6'8", like that. The one that calls himself the Yeti. I think his name is Josh. I can't connect with him. I don't have abs. Never even had an ab. Or the MMA one, Tanner. I can't connect with him. But ZZ, I can connect with. He's in a little bit better shape than me, but I can connect with him because he has that simplicity. He doesn't have. It's that it factor they always talk about. There's two more on there. Well, one of them got voted off. Spoiler alert. But before, somebody actually called them. I think they called them porn star rejects. And with the exception of Chelsea, who was voted off the week before, all the other ones looked like they came from the set of a porn movie. Now, hey, but you know what? I mean, granted, they won the challenges. They knew how to perform in the ring. But did they have personality? Did they have the it factor? Did they have the connectability? Did they have real boobs? No. So, I mean, honestly, Sarah Lee, I mean, she might not, as Booker fusses at her through the whole episode last week, she might not be able to stop smiling in the ring every time, you know, she goes in. But, you know what, and she might not be the best, but she has that connectivity. So, I definitely, I mean, those are my picks, by the way, ZZ and Sarah. Of course, now that I've voiced that, they'll probably both, you know, one of them will get voted off this week, and then since they're down to two girls, they can't vote the other girl off. They've got to wait. So ZZ will probably get voted off Tuesday because I said it. But yeah, you know, I'm glad they're showing them how to take down the ring. They actually had to put on a match this past Tuesday in front of the entire NXT locker room. Everybody. Like, if you go back and look, you see Bayley, you see Bull Dempsey, you see Finn Balor, you see Enzo, you see Jason Jordan. Every one of them that you see on a weekly basis, and even some of the newer guys, you see sitting in the thing. And and what's funny is those NXT guys, they started chanting. You would have thought they were the Full Sail audience. The way they were carrying on, it was quite hilarious. But yeah, so definitely watch Tough Enough, and I'm glad that they're actually taking the time to show them a little bit of finer things, other than just what you need to know in the ring. You know, it's what they're showing, and the physicality of it all. You know, show them what you need to, you know, outside. Show them putting the ring up. I would like to see them, you know, touch on locker room etiquette, because that's a big thing, and I know it's a big sticking point with a lot of guys in pro wrestling or sports entertainment. Is locker room etiquette. I mean, Eddie, you know, you've been around for about 200 years, I think. I don't know. You shook Abe Lincoln's hand. You're on you know, during your first card. So, but yeah, true or false? I mean, not the Abe Lincoln part, but maybe, you know, teach them locker room etiquette.
Oh God, yes. If your trainers don't teach you locker room etiquette,
Say etiquette.
yeah. If you don't have the etiquette, you're an idiot. We're an idiot.
The etiquette. That's what you need to do. You need to start your own. You need to start your own. You know, how to take the kids aside that are training now, and have, you know, one or two classes just called locker room etiquette. EDDIE -CUT.
Yeah, I thought about doing that one time. Etiquette classes. I just prefer to be an idiot. I'm good with that too.
Well, hey, maybe he was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, do you
Actually, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You've heard me typing the whole time that you've been speaking.
Rambling on like an idiot or an idiot.
Yes, or an idiot. There you go. I've actually been in conversation with one half of the old tag team known as the Doodley Boys. And first off, long time no talk to. Hope things are going well in your neck of the woods, and I do mean woods. So, like I say, I'll say on air what I was saying in type a few minutes ago. He may actually be giving us a buzz a little bit later on in the, probably later in the week. I'll say maybe next weekend.
Is it someone that shares the same name as I?
No.
No, not him.
No. Who do you think it is?
How am I supposed to know who that is?
Who do you think it is?
It's not MJ, is it?
It's Billy Bob Doodley.
I don't know who Billy Bob Doodley is.
That's who that is on that poster. It's Billy Bob Doodley.
Yeah, but you asked me if I knew who it was.
You think you know who it is?
No clue.
Okay.
Wait, do I know this person?
Conceivably.
Then I don't know.
It's possibly animal, vegetable, or mineral.
Conceivably. I got to paraphrase the movie. Conceivably. You keep using this word.
Yes, allegedly.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Allegedly.
Pat Patterson? Pat Patterson, the Doodley boy?
No, he's not.
I mean, I know he usually Doodley's boys, but you know.
Now that's Diddley's.
Yeah, that's a tag team nobody wants to see.
There you go.
Nobody's listening anymore. Nobody's listening anymore whatsoever.
Where's Wick?
We have lost every listener.
I know it. We've gone totally off the rails. Scrappy Diddle Screw it.
Oh, good. You want to shut it down and call it a night?
That would be way too easy right now. I will come back
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. The Easter eggs are done. We're out. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we said screw the show. We're going straight for Easter eggs.
Yeah, we're just going straight for Easter eggs.
Oh, in less than 2 weeks, Friday night, August the 28th, in Reading, Pennsylvania, Chikara Pro Wrestling presents live at first Yes?
You sure it's not pronounced reading?
Reading.
You sure it's not reading?
I'm sure it's Reading. Everybody says Reading. I will join the masses on this one. I will be assimilated on the enunciation.
I'm just saying, look, I used to watch the old TV show, Butterfly in the Sky. I Can Fly Just as High. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow does not sound right.
No, that's Reading Rainbow.
Okay, so it's Reading, Pennsylvania.
No, it's Reading, Pennsylvania.
So it's the past tense of reading.
The word read and the word read both have the same spelling, R-E-A-D. Now, not the color red, but the past tense of the word read. Had to stop him before he jumped on that one, kids, because you knew he would. It is Mabo.
No, not really. We're just dragging this segment out as long as we can until we come back from break. Anyway, Chikara. I heard you speak upon Chikara. Which, by the way, did I tell you that I won a Chikara prize pack from not this past Chikara journey into Chikara, but the Chikara before?
Matter of fact, you started to talk about that last week on the show.
Yes, I did. And when you know it shows up on Saturday. I saw the letter carrier hit the one set of mailbox. Before she hit our set of mailbox. Totally forgot. Totally forgot. By the time I went and got the mail, there was the slip in there saying, "You have a package down at the office," and the office was shut. So I have to wait till tomorrow. So
that sucks.
I do not get to share with you guys my Chikara goodies. Oh, life is not fair.
Oh, by the way, I have a message from Billy Schmidtke, good friend of ours here on the show, and also good friend in real time.
I know, blah blah blah. Get in the truck. You're going with me.
Yeah.
I need drivers. I need the driver courtesy on the way to Pell City. Sorry, I'm not Corey Hollis. I don't give drivers courtesy.
No, you're just going to the show. Whenever you, if
No,
he's,
I'm not.
he said, if you ever need a ride to the show, call him
Call him what?
on the phone.
Oh, okay. I'd rather
Contact
call
him, Nimrod.
Anyway, Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yes, Reading, Pennsylvania. Actually, I'd already scrolled back because I know that last night Chikara was at the Wrestle Factory in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for Chikara the Good Life.
True that.
I did not. Have you seen the results yet?
I have.
Would you care to impart them upon us before we go to the top of the hour break?
I am trying to find them. As soon as I can find them.
Because I know they're not over on Lords of Pain.
Huh?
I know they're not on Lords of Pain.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, because Lords of Pain doesn't have any. They don't have any. Yeah. No. But yes, I did find some.
Go for it.
Also, by the way, don't forget, over I think it was Indiana was Wrestle Geek Fest or whatever.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that Tuesday night when Phil Stamper came on.
Yeah. Guess what? There was a group selfie. Bryce Remsburg, Gavin was in the picture. Marion Fontaine, Old Blue Pants, Veda Scott, and somebody else who's been on the show. Dick Justice. But I noticed that there was a young African-American man in the picture, and I was like, at first I was like, is that Sugar? No, it's not Sugar Dunkerton. And then I realized it was stand-up comedian sensation who has also been on Last Comic Standing, Martin Morrow.
Nice.
Now, have you been watching Last Comic Standing?
No.
Okay, for those of you who've been watching Last Comic Standing, Martin Morrow he resides in Chicago. He's a huge wrestling fan. He's actually CM Punk has put him over several times. Colt Cabana has put him over several times as being a great stand-up comedian. He's also from Birmingham, Alabama. He is also a good friend of mine who I pretty much talked wrestling with back when he was about 11 or 12 years old, if even younger than that. He used to come into the toy store I worked, and we would sit there and talk about wrestling. So it's kind of weird to see this kid who I remember, would come in there and ask me, when are they going to make a figure of this person? When is this person going to get an action figure? course, this is really before the internet was around. And look at him now. He was up at the Geek Fest thing and taking selfies, and it really just blew my mind that he was not only taking a picture with AIW and Chikara guys, but 3 of the people who have also been on our show. And I posted that, and it was just really, really, really weird. So, but yeah. So go figure. Where were we?
I have no idea.
Yes, yeah, but I was going to touch upon that off air, and see if you want to move forward with that. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, I've got the results right now.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Mabo, why did you look up the results? So we could talk about them for a minute?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you want to give them out real quick.
Go for it.
Or did you want to take... Okay, well, before we hit the top of the hour break, match 1, Oleg the Usurper versus Prakash Sabar with the Proletariat Boar of Moldova. Oleg wins. And throughout the night, it seemed like it'd be a running theme. Juan Francisco de Coronado just kept coming out and getting talking and getting booed. So, there you go. Now, once again, I don't know if any of these were listed as Challenge of the Immortal matches. So, the normal correspondent Reed Harris Cooper, nice guy, big Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World fan. We've talked. He normally does the reporting, but he didn't get a chance to. So, these are kind of just secondhand. Los Ice Creams with Princess Kimberly took on Blind Rage and Frightmare. Rage and Frightmare win. Los Ice Creams get all dismayed and stuff, and they said Princess Kimberly sings to them to just believe. I don't even want to know what happened there.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Argus takes on the Proletariat Boar of Moldova with Prakash Sabar. Oleg came out and escorts Prakash to the back. Argus tried to come off the top rope but got knocked off and crushed. The Boar wins via gore. By the way, if you ever get a chance, I'm pretty sure Chikara has it, maybe Wrestling Tees, not sure. But see if you can find a Boar is War. It's done in the old Raw is War logo style.
Yep.
But, yeah, go out there and support the Proletariat Boar of Moldova. It's pretty much their gross national product, is his T-shirts. NRG, Hype Rockwell and Race Jackson took on Juke Joint Lucas Calhoun and Missile Assault Man, formerly Missile Assault Ant. NRG wins, and now they have 3 points they could challenge for the belts. They didn't win last time they challenged. Maybe they'll win this time. Once again, JFC comes out. Actually, he came out after the Boar match, too. But one come out again, takes out by Amasis. And it leads to the Grand Championship match, Hallowicked with Frightmare and Blind Rage versus Amasis. Amasis is... Now, I don't know where his Battle Hive buddies were, but Ophidion's up in the Channel Islands, which, if you get a chance, subscribe to and or follow Ophidian on Facebook. Guy takes some awesome pictures, and he's got his mask on. It's called Masked in Public, so check it out. But actually, they said it's a pretty good match. But in the end, Hallowicked won after a Yakuza kick and 2 Sky Highs. So Hallowicked still has the Grand Championship. That was about it.
We'll tell you what, on that note, do me a favor, hold on that note. We're going to go ahead and take that top of the hour break, folks. We'll be back on Beyond Ringside Live right after this.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Universal Soldier Phil Shatter, also TNA Gunner. 2 years in the making as NWA National Heavyweight Champion, making my way to the top as #1 in the world. And you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
2010, after 2 years of constant bullying, 11-year-old Ty Smalley took his own life. In the past 7 years, more than 55,000 children have taken their own lives due to bullying. That's 22 youth suicides every day. Stand for the Silent is a grassroots organization that educates people about the harsh reality of bullying and the devastation it causes, and they need your help. Visit standforthesilent.org to learn how you can get involved and help us to save lives.
I stand for the silent.
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 I'm Roddy Piper, and we stand for the silent.
This is Bambi Weeble with Masters of Ring Entertainment, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Do you like beer? Do you like business? Do you like businesses that make beer? Then you'll love this new show. It's the Beer Trail Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Price, and we're going to travel through the world of craft beer and talk to the breweries and see how they got started and what inspired them to make their beer. So check it out at thebeertrailpodcast.com and tell your friends, and hope to see you on the trail.
This is Super Cop Dick Justice, America's favorite wrestler, American-born hero. And right now, like a stiff bear hug, you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
11 after the top of the hour on this Sunday kind of thing. Clouds rolling into our neck of the woods. Hope things are going smoothly where you are. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. Mark Mabo Bowman, what's up, my brother?
Beyond Ringside. Hashtag 6 seasons and a movie.
Say that again. I was switching headsets.
Hashtag 6 seasons and a movie.
I think we've been going longer than 6 seasons and a movie.
Well, you never know.
There you go.
If nothing else, our last season, we can get picked up on Yahoo. Reading Rainbow.
That's a fate worse than death, either being picked up by CBS Sports Radio or by Yahoo Sports. I don't know. We can talk about that off air. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Now, there have been some situations going on with the different shows, and there's one in particular that I want to focus on for a second. It's been, I hate to use this word because it's the antithesis of what my meaning is, but people understand the genuine concept behind the statement. The sleeper series in Ring of Honor right now has been the ongoing situation between the last real man, Silas Young, and Dalton Castle. I've got to sit back and say this. That has got to be, in my book, one of the most underrated storylines that I have seen on Ring of Honor, because you've got two talented people in that ring who know how to work. And if you missed this past week or this weekend, Ring of Honor television, these two did it yet again. And there can be no doubt in anybody's mind the talent that Dalton Castle possesses. The fact that he is a genuine showman in the ring. And there is no doubt in my mind about the talent of Silas Young. Both of them, great in-ring performers. Very underrated. Talked about, yes. Talked about strongly, no. I very rarely ever see really emphatic conversations or demonstrative conversations involving either one of them. But I've just got to sit back and say this. Based on the match they had this past on this weekend's episode of Ring of Honor television, these two really, and the crowd in attendance respected the effort of both of these guys. I'll say nothing negative about this match. Period. You can't pay me. I mean, I'll take your money, but I'm still just going to take the money and run. I won't say anything negative about this match because I feel both of them put together one hell of an effort. Mabo, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't watched. Aw, baby ducks. No, I haven't watched. Had a chance to watch Ring of Honor yet. I figured I'd catch Paragon before it came on air, and then I had to poop. But I mean, they've had matches, before in the past at Ring of Honor, and whether you want to call him Dalton Castle or Ashley Remington,
right?
this cat is a diamond in the rough, so to speak. He is definitely one to watch out for. Will he ever make it to WWE? Probably not, mainly due to size. And, I know people be like, oh, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, blah, blah. I hope I'm wrong. If TNA is around next month, will he ever make it to TNA? Possibly. But he's also, with the Dalton Castle gimmick, people are very iffy about it. Obviously, Ring of Honor is not, and I applaud Ring of Honor for that. The Ashley Remington Schnabitz, I don't know if that'll ever go over or not. I mean, it's over with independent fans, especially with Chikara fans, with the finger guns and the smooth sailing and the fruit baskets and all that. But I can tell you right now, I would not be surprised if next year to the next 3 years, people don't start calling Dalton Castle, Ashley Remington, whatever, if he doesn't come up with that uncrowned king of the independents moniker. Because this kid, he's got it. He's got it. And Silas Young, I mean, just a big, well, he's not too big, but just like this, he's like a throwback. Just a nasty, just bare knuckle brawling, but he can also go like on the mat. He's also very technically sound. So, I mean, and then, when you bring them together, you get that underlying tone of kind of what's going on with society today, and the whole, you've got the one side that's all, against the with the same sex thing and all that stuff, and then you got the ones who are like, let them be. So people always, gravitate towards those storylines where, I don't want to say oppression, but where somebody who's trying to celebrate their differences is getting bullied and beat up.
I think I've got to take, I'm not necessarily umbrage, not really exception, but I'm going to take a step back from what you said about the alternative side, and I'm not sure how the overall character of Dalton Castle is supposed to be presented, at least as far as... go ahead.
Well, I mean, I hate to cut you off, but I mean, it could be like the exotic Adrian Street.
Bingo.
Angle.
And remember, everybody knew, I mean, it was the worst kept secret even before the internet, that Street and Linda were married.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but still people shied away and, stepped back like, oh, yeah. And also, people could even say, there was Adam Rose, when he showed up as Adam Rose initially, it was always questionable. They never came out and say it. He even said, Adam Rose will go out there and tell you that, when he was coming up with the Adam Rose character, he, relied heavily and borrowed heavily from exotic Adrian Street.
Right.
So, I'm not saying that he's, they're not pulling a Chuck and Billy before, the marriage and stuff. But, that's the saying it without saying it, but not really following it, if you can follow that logic.
Right.
It's basically one of those draw your own conclusions kind of thing.
Yeah,
so they don't outright say, kind of like they do with Orlando Jordan, and then just make it weird.
No, and that was the problem with the Orlando Jordan storylines, because the fact that his openness about being bisexual really made a lot of things awkward for a lot of people, and the mainstream was not ready for the way that he was coming across. Look, the reason why Dalton Castle or Ashley Remington, either one of them, but specifically in this case for Ring of Honor's sake, Dalton Castle, the reason why his character comes across so well is because the flamboyance of the Dalton Castle persona lends credibility to the way, what is the easy way to say this without just blurting it out? For me, the easy way to say it, I like the Dalton Castle personality. I like the packaging and the imaging that they put together for him. And you have a flamboyance which would lend credence to an alternative lifestyle or alternate lifestyle. But by the same token, you also have a certain side of the persona which actually negates that. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it's kind of like the joke that Michael Landon told many, many moons ago when he was talking about Bonanza. And this is before Michael Landon, this is about 2 years before he passed away. He was doing the interview, and the interviewer just asked the question, considering the factor of all the beautiful women that were running around during when the Ponderosa was active, were the Cartwright boys gay? And Michael Landon... Huh?
Sorry, I was just laughing at that.
Yeah, I know. And Landon came back and said, "I can honestly sit back and tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that none of the Cartwright guys were gay, but thank God Hop Sing was." And which just
Ew.
No, that had me on the floor for 2 days laughing my ass off. The fact that Mr. Touched by an Angel, Highway to Heaven, whatever the hell the name of the show was, and not to mention Little House on the Prairie or Little Joe Cartwright. Just came out and popped that line during an interview, and I'm just dying laughing because of the fact that he said it without even blinking. Well, therein lies the funny part, because you can actually lend credence to the fact that it's not Dalton that might be. It could be Dalton's boys that are. So you can take that in that perspective and run with it. But it doesn't matter to me whether that character is supposed to be or is not supposed to be. The fact of the matter...
No, it doesn't. He's entertaining.
That's the point. It's entertaining, and that overwhelms anything else that might be an underlying agenda as far as the packaging of the story of the character. Now, it's funny. Hell, there was a segue I was going to use right there. Oh, I remember it now.
Eddie, everybody knows with your inner ear problems, you should not be on a Segway.
Oof, that was bad.
Yeah. Hey, look, you're not the only one that can do cheesy jokes. But if you enjoy the Dalton Castle, which I know you do, I do highly recommend you check out his work as Ashley Remington.
Right, smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, Ashley Remington. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, definitely go find some on the YouTubes with the Chikaras and check it out, because I mean it's you want to. It's just funny, especially like Bryce Remsburg and everybody else. Senior official Bryce Remsburg. If you ever want to see a candidate for someone to have a bromance with or a guy crush on, it's smooth sailing Ashley Remington. The guys swoon for him in a bromance kind of way.
There you go. You brought up the word, and here's the segue I was going to go for. Thank you. You brought back the word throwback. And I really have to ask, in this day and age, whereas 20 years ago, Huey Lewis and the News had a song called Hip to Be Square. It was also the same planet where it's hip to be named Huey. I'm just kidding. But thank you, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Yeah, the nephews. Looking at characters like Silas Young, and of course, you've got the vaudevillains down in NXT now. You've got the throwbacks over in Chikara. And you also...
Well, yeah, but you're forgetting if you want to... And I hate to cut you off because this is such a... And I'll get to that in a minute, and I'll let you get to your question. But you're forgetting probably one of the best, Gentleman Jervis Cottonbelly, and his tag team partner, Marion Fontaine.
I was actually going to mention those.
No, you weren't.
Yes, but I was. Believe it or not, I had it ready.
Go ahead with your lead on, because I definitely want to talk about this the company, which I'm trying to get somebody from this company on.
I've already got their number. It's going to be 2 weeks.
Are you sure you know who I'm talking about?
Paragon Pro Wrestling?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would like to have, what's his name, Eric Wright?
That's who I was going to bring up. That's where I was segueing to, is the gentleman brawler Eric Wright. I find it intriguing that in this day and age, with the exception of the Fed, almost everybody has someone that falls into the realm of that throwback style character.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
Because Eddie, that's not just a company, or not just a company has a throwback style character. My good sir, there is actually a company called Old Time Wrestling.
Okay.
And everything is, and it's established. It's guys we know in the independents, but they old timey them up,
Right.
whether it be, just what they wear. I've seen clips. I would love to get somebody from the company on there. But they're over at it's called Old Wrestling Extravaganza. They're over at oldwrestling.com. I mean, everything they do from posters and T-shirts to the roster. You might have even seen, there's a picture that's around that it's all done. It's like in black and white, but it's still in that old. What's the word? It's not really black and white. What's the one where it looks like an old wanted poster, like an old school picture with a sepia
tone,
whatever. But you know what I'm talking about, where it's got that old, old school photography look to it. But yeah, I'm telling you, dude. They've got they of course Jervis Cottonbelly, but they've got Matt Cross is there as Matthew Cross. The tag team that you won't let me mention their name, the Jollyville, they're there as the Jollyville Jeepers. Chuck Taylor and Jock Sampson make up the Moonshining Men of Appalachia. Who else is I don't think because I've heard word that he's retired, but he was there. He portrayed a high-ranking official within the British East India Company and British South Africa Company, the Imperial Robert Evans, and he had the whole pith helmet and everything. Of course, Dasher Hatfield's there, Marion Fontaine's there, Thunder Kitty's there, the El Paso Kid, Gregory Iron, just tons of them, man. Just Trip Cassidy is now Trip Blonde. But yeah, they go in this old style. I mean, it definitely is almost. It's Chikar's my number one. This is definitely without even have seen a show. Just these guys are my number two company. And but yeah, check them out. It's over at Old with an E, OLDE wrestling.com. They got like ragtime bands and everything, dude. So, I think they might have even been at Geek Fest. Yeah, they were. They were at Geek Fest.
Matter of fact, their next outing is going to be Sunday, August the 30th at the Huron County Fairgrounds in Norwalk, Ohio. It's called Yet Another Extravaganza of Wrestling Exhibitions. One of the matches, you make the reference to the team a minute ago. Jack Blonde, Derek Oster, and Thunder Kitty taking on the combination of the Jollyville Jeepers and Heidi the Riveter. That's just one of the matches.
Heidi Riveter, which if you look at her, she looks familiar. She would be the current reigning and defending Young Lionesses Cup champion, Heidi Lovelace.
Right.
So, I mean, I've been in touch with them. I don't know if they quite know how email or Twitter works since they're old timey. They might be confounded by it. I don't know if they. How long does it take an email to get transferred into, the Telegraph?
Probably about 6 hours.
Okay, well, they probably my email's probably on back order.
Probably.
Yes, I definitely would love to. I've been in touch with them. I'm trying to get a representative on this show.
Hmm.
Because I think it would be great.
I think it would be as well. So definitely.
Another match for yet another extravaganza of wrestling. Big Sue Jackson, which I've heard that name for a while now.
Yep.
Big Sue Jackson taking on Inky Scoops. Come on, how can you know this Inky Scoops? Obviously, he's got a newspaper gimmick going on there, newspaper boy. But he's Rory O'Henry McHenry. Come on, kids. Rory O'Henry McHenry. How can you not love that name? What is wrong with you people?
All
and
right.
Eddie calls you former. I guess you're former MTFers. I don't know what are they now, Eddie? MWTs?
I guess. I don't know. It was so easy when it was Monday, Thursday, Friday. Those are MTFers.
I guess what are they? MWT backers now?
MWT.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's so much good stuff on Wednesday nights now, other than TNA.
Well,
You got
unfortunately,
Lucha.
Lucha Underground is on hiatus right now. They've reached the end of their season, and they're actually on break right now. I'm going to come back a little bit later in the year.
Which, by the way, I did see the wrap up, the wrap up movie they did.
Right.
Saw that on the YouTubes, and wow, apparently Rey Mysterio can be summoned like Batman. There's still a burning question mark up in the sky, and blimp, there he is. But that's true. Come on. But yeah, I mean, I that was and was it Dario Cueto running with the frickin' and everybody's all like, ooh, what does the Red Bull mean? Maybe he just likes energy drinks. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, no one can argue the cinematography. And wait a minute, and wasn't Vampiro doing commentary? Is he a heel
Yes.
now? I mean,
Tweener. Antagonistically protagonist.
well, I mean, I know he was doing the commentary at one point, and then I see him in the video, and he's, looking like he's from Lair of the White Worm or something.
Yeah, that's
Look
where.
it up, kid.
But see, that therein lies the funny part, because that's the sad part where you have not been able to see the storyline between he and Pentagon Jr., where Pentagon was doing the bidding of his master to try to lure Vampiro back into the ring one more time. And they went ahead and set it up. It aired on part 2 of Lucha Underground's Ultima Lucha. And I'm going to sit back and say this. If there were a couple of glitches here and there in that match, but guess what? Who cares? Pentagon and Vampiro did a great job. I mean, it's funny because I was having a conversation with somebody, matter of fact, I think it was Billy Schmidtke and I were talking about this earlier today, a good friend of the family. And he's making a reference that Vampiro may be maybe 2 years older than Bullet Bob Armstrong, and put together a really good match with Pentagon. These two guys were
Yeah, that's the thing is Vampiro, he's definitely on up there in years, and he's also his body's not in the best of shape anymore. Like, I mean, he physically might look in shape,
right?
But yeah, he's his body has taken years of abuse, not just United States years of abuse, but Mexico years of abuse, Japan years of abuse. So yeah, I'm surprised he can even move.
Real quick, coming back over to August 30th real quick, the lobbying legislators of an anti-saloon land take on Old Fashioned at yet another extravaganza of wrestling exhibitions from Old Time Wrestling, Old Wrestling. Once again, this is Sunday, August the 30th at the Huron County Fairgrounds in Norwalk, Ohio. Judge Hugo sentences the Moonshiners on the 30th, which is going to be... matter of fact, Dick Justice already slated to be there, along with a couple of... the names that are actually going to be on this show. Old-timer Jeff King taking on Felino de Rojo. I believe that would be called Red Cat. I already mentioned the Jollyville Jeepers and Heidi the Riveter versus Jack Blonde, Derek Oster, and Thunder Kitty. Caden Assad taking on Matthew Cross. Matt Cross. Bear will be taking on Tracy Smothers in a rematch. I would like to see the original version of this match. Big Sue.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember there was talk of that. I never saw the match, but I remember there was talk about that from the card before, because I kept going, Tracy Smothers is wrestling a bear?
There you go. Big Sue Jackson taking on Inky Scoops. And let's see. Hold on. Let me go and run this down. It is, of course, entertainment for all ages, family-friendly vintage wrestling. The Art of Manliness and Live Cafe present Wrestling Extravaganza Sunday, August the 30th. Doors are going to open at 2:30 p.m. Bell time is going to be 3 o'clock p.m. Advance tickets online, $12. On the day of the show, $15. Oh, okay. So there are places that you can buy the tickets in advance in person, and they'll be $10 each. If you buy them online, they're $12 each. Tickets the day of the show, $15. Kids 10 and under get in free with a paid adult.
Now this is August 30th.
Yes.
Is that next Saturday or
that's 2 weeks from today?
2 weeks. 2 weeks from Saturday. Or 2 weeks from Sunday.
2 weeks from Sunday. 2 weeks from today.
Dang it!
Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, Beyond Ringside will be on air next Sunday, but the following Sunday, August 30th, we will be on the road.
I'm not driving to Ohio again.
Come on, dude.
No, because I'll be in Atlanta on the 29th, dude.
Come on, dude, come on.
And on that note, we're going to the bottom of the hour break. BR Live continues right after this. By the way, Mike Quackenbush, what was your official nickname again?
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holes, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Hello, this is Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, 8-time NWA World Tag Team Champions, and the true independent outlaw wrestler of the world. You're locked in Beyond Ringside.
You know, I keep threatening in one of these years I will actually release the tapes from off air. No, I won't. Scrappy doodle that. 19 before the top of the hour on this 16th day of August. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Lane live from Studio 1. Mark Babo Bowman, come on back.
We're one of the worst shows ever.
What's that?
This entire day.
No, just seg 1. Seg 2 was better.
Not really.
Yep, it's always better. Daryl B, what's up, brother? Over in the chat room. I finally got a chance to sneak over to the chat room. Daryl B, good friend of ours, longtime listener, longtime friend. Maybo. Wait a minute, no, wait. I can't say anything because back at 5:51, he was going, Maybo talking a lot of sense tonight for a change.
I know, right? So that tells you, that's right there. That shows that it's a horrible show.
It's a horrible show when you make sense, right?
Yeah, when I make sense, we're screwed.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I'm seriously inclined to agree when you start making that much damn sense. Want to take a moment to say hello to another longtime friend, Mr. Kurt Bloom, who is the radio voice of the Birmingham Barons here in our home area, Birmingham, Alabama. Had a great.
I thought he knew.
No. And now that the Dweebu, shut up, Eddie. I still get people, and I've gotten a ton over the last couple of weeks. And really, Corey? Really? And I don't mean
God.
Hollis. Don't say it, Mabo. Don't.
That big
Just
blob of
don't.
Crisco.
Don't. I asked you not to.
I'm gonna call. You know what? When you're running his show, I'm gonna call in tonight.
No, he's probably wanting to make sure that I got the message that his modem is Friday. He's going to be using his phone to call in, which would have been just as easy for him to send me a text. But, and Billy, you and Billy Schmidtke have something in common. Y'all both want to put your foot up his ass.
Yeah, don't worry about us doing the show that pretty much started this network that put this show on.
Okay. Should I go back? Should I go back to break real quick and we come back in and start the segment over again?
No, we're good.
Okay. Once again,
like Stan.
What?
I still like Stan though.
Okay. Well, he likes you too.
You know who I don't like? You know who I don't like?
Who?
That limey Daryl B.
Oh. Daryl's going to throw lawn darts at you from across the pond.
Yeah, sure he will.
I'm gonna
even still make lawn darts.
Yes, they do actually. Can I get back to where I was? Can I get back to where I was?
No. I'm not only am I making sure we're derailed, but I'm just going to start pulling up the railing and sell it for scrap.
You're going to put it on eBay. No, but actually, I want to say a very special thank you to Kurt Bloom, good friend of mine, longtime friend. And I still get people asking, it's like, dude, why'd you leave the Barons? It's like, I didn't have a choice in the matter. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But actually, I've already been invited to make a return trip up to the new Regions Field. And you just never know what's going to happen next in the chapters of the life of Fast Eddie Lane. Also want to say, I'm going to hold that one for a little while. I'm going to hold the second one for a little while. Oh, no, I'm not. There's another one that I want to bring up. Had a blast. If you ever want to hear Mabo get pissed at me, here's the time, because it's going to happen. I want to say...
Well, let's see. Times when Mabo gets pissed, when Eddie talks about baseball, when Eddie talks about NASCAR, when Eddie talks about football, when Eddie talks politics, when Eddie talks.
Especially when Eddie says, I had an absolute blast last night at the Zamora Shrine Temple with the Tragic City Rollers, their final home game.
Oh, now you're just a jerk. Why didn't you tell me you were going?
It was a last-minute thing.
So, you go right past 280 to get to the frickin' place. You could have said something to me. But no, because you're a douche. You're a douche. Honestly, I hope an errant skate wheel flew off and hit you in the beanbag.
Nope, didn't happen. Although the Tragic City Rollers did defeat the Mississippi Roller Girls last night in their final home game of the season, or home bout of the season.
It was the final game that's going to be here this season, and you couldn't say anything. You're a jerk. You are a jerk. Next time I get a freaking message in the chat, you gonna book anybody for the show? No, screw you. You went to Tragic City Rollers without me. Screw you.
Final score was 304-77 in favor of the TCRs.
Jesus. Good God.
Some information was imparted to me last night that I'm just going to go ahead and pass along for our friends here in the Birmingham metropolitan area who are familiar with the TCRs, Tragic City Rollers. Birmingham's Roller Derby Queens. Actually, I do have it on good authority that Eiffel Power will actually be moving out of state. There are a couple of other veterans on the squad that are going to be leaving TCR to move to different venues, different states after the season. Also want to say a good hello to a longtime friend, many years, Lightning Lee Peak, also known around the roller derby circles as Quad of Thunder. Had a chance to hang out with him last night. Also, another mutual friend who was part of the halftime show last night, Josh O'Hagan, in one of his many different roles, was part of the halftime entertainment last night as a professional dancer, and was.
Oh God, was he doing his little breakdancing?
Yes, he was.
Well, see, now he was at I didn't go to the Star Wars Day one, but back during Free Comic Book Day, I went to the doubleheader and just happened to run into old Blurry there. I figured he was dating one of the Tragic City Rollers.
Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, he arrived about 5 minutes before halftime, did the routine, and left about 2 minutes after he was done.
Somebody must have been looking for him to serve him a subpoena.
That would probably be a good bet. I would not be surprised at that in the least. But looking forward to hearing some great things going into next season. I know that probably after the first of the year, they're going to hold the tryouts, which is normally on par. I understand that a lot of people, you've got a lot of people who are going to be returning from this year's squad. And of course, TCR always works to recruit some of the best. And if you're not, for the ladies out there in our home market of Central Alabama, this is an experience you have to try for yourself. Sitting in the stand, if you're able to roller skate, trust me, this would be an experience that you need to take under your belt and run with. Because getting out there, and it's like, there were some hella bumps last night. There was one girl that just did a complete, they had to stop the match because she did a back bump and cracked her head for a second. Even with the helmet on, that had to hurt. There was another that did a face plant. Unfortunately, wasn't in my general area, or I would have rushed to catch her. Even if it was one of the girls from Mississippi. But once again, to everybody from TCR, thank you for all the hospitality. I hope y'all had a great season. Last night was the only game that I've had a chance to make it to, and of course y'all win 304-77, for which I'm very happy. It was coming down to the final seconds in the second half, near the end of the bout, and they managed to call off the jam with 31 seconds. Therefore, they could get the final jam in and make it go a full 2 minutes. But they were trying to get to that 300 mark just to see if they could do it, and they did it. So. After it was all said, done, and over with, both teams were extraordinarily cordial. Everybody was great. I almost went down to the after party last night, but after the negative reaction that I had from that damn pizza they had at the Zamora Shrine Temple, not going to happen. Sorry, didn't happen. And there were a bunch of people. There were quite a few who were like, dude, you come to... Yes.
So that's where the post on Facebook came from.
Yep.
I was going to ask you about that off air. But if you've never been to a TCR after party, yeah, you don't know what you're missing. Them ladies know how to party.
Oh, yeah. I've been to a couple of their after game parties before, and it's like, yeah, they know how to kick back and have fun.
Yep. But and it's like I even put on your Facebook. As much as I love pizza, and I love me some pizza, always go with nachos. Always go with nachos.
Very
I didn't
true.
know where you were, so I was trying to figure out where you were at. And I was thinking they were like, you passed on maybe some like loaded nachos with chicken and cheese and some onions, some little jalapenos, a little olive action going on there, with some rice. That's some freaking nachos. But yeah, I mean, even your simple nacho cheese in a can and generic tortilla chips, even that, little jalapenos on the side, yeah, even that over pizza. Unless you know, where did the pizza come from? Do you know? Was it like a Papa John's? Was it a chain? Was it a Hunt Brothers?
I really don't know. I
Yeah,
really don't know. It just honestly, it hit me like a ton of bricks last night. Had a very adverse reaction, which caused me to not go to On Tap for the post-game party.
So, translation, Eddie had the boo-boo.
No, Eddie barfed.
Oh, God. Ugh, even worse. I'm sorry. Yikes.
It'd be okay if all I had to do was go to the bathroom. Nope, I had to pull over and go barf. But I figured I'd just go in and throw that one up right there.
Ugh.
Speaking of, I know as subtle as I was saying that, I think Jonathan Coachman is actually even less subtle than I am. He puts out on Twitter, so next weekend, does anybody know of anything to do in Brooklyn? I don't have anything on my schedule. No, wait, yes I do. Hashtag SS. Gee, wonder? Now, I have been completely in favor of the concept. I'm going to love it if Coachman does come back for the day. Because there have been so many people who have been wanting Coach to make a return, even for one day, to WWE programming live. And if they can pull this off, and ESPN and WWE can cross the streams and some of the ESPN personality. Hell, even Todd Grisham, love to see him come back for a day. But, I'm almost looking forward to SummerSlam. But there's still not enough on the bill to make me sit back and go, ooh, this is a 4-hour show. Yay. Are you in the same boat I am in that regard?
No, you know what I'm looking forward to? And I also realized that there's no way in hell I'm showing up at GCW. I might even, the plans I had before, I might even have to cut short because I totally forgot her NXT TakeOver from Brooklyn will be next Saturday night.
Okay.
And also, they have sold out. The NXT crew,
yeah,
they sold out the Barclay Arena. 13,000, I think.
Nice.
I know it ain't 1,300 because they've drawn that. They've drawn more than that. I think they drew more than that at WrestleMania.
Right.
But yeah, Triple H tweeted it out last week. I can't remember if we mentioned it or not. But yeah, they have sold out the Barclay Arena, which I think that following where's SummerSlam going to be at? SummerSlam's not at the Barclay, is it?
Any other time I could say, yeah, no, not sure.
But I know that I think surely not because Raw is the next night, so
right.
But yeah, I was trying to find out, the whole. The whole sellout.
Well, that would also give you one reason why they're doing the Answer the Call charity campaign for the New York Police and Fire. So it's going to be close. I'll be honest with you, I just haven't paid attention to where I don't know where it's going to be. SummerSlam is actually going to be the meet and let's see. Tickets are still available for the meet and greet on Friday, August 21st, and for both of the meet and greets on the 21st. SmackDown's going to be Tuesday, August 18th in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Amazing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go to www.com here. And bam, so there's no dead air.
Exactly. No, because I'm actually trying to find the entire story right here that'll give all the details on it, and unfortunately, WWE.com.
Here we go. It says was where Triple H tweeted out its official NXT takeover in Brooklyn sold out a record crowd of 13,000 plus at the Barclays Center.
And actually,
so what is that? Huh?
Because, go figure, they sell out 13,000 at Barclays Center, and I think it actually holds more than that, but SummerSlam will actually be from the Barclays Center itself.
They got to block it off and all that stuff.
I don't even think they'd have to block it off.
Well, I don't think they would either, but, I guess if they want to kind of have the same setup in the same field as they do at, other places they've ran, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got the stage, and then you got the backdrop.
I've just got to sit back and say this.
Did you ever find out, though, where SummerSlam was?
Yeah, at the Barclays Center.
SummerSlam's going to be at Barclays Center, too?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But what does that say, though? What does that say to you? As someone who's, been around pro wrestling, yada, yada, yada. What does that say to you when, and especially if you're, Triple H doesn't, we all know how Triple H feels about NXT. That's his baby, but, he's
that
very
is his
passionate
baby.
about it. That's his company. But if you were Vince McMahon and his little higher-ups, his little, cronies, so to speak.
His yes man.
Coming at his yes man. Not to be confused with Daniel Bryan. Coming up on 3 minutes at the top of the hour. We will be taking home soon. But what does that say to you that your quote-unquote
Farm League? The Farm League?
Yeah, your Farm League, your developmental territory, your, these young kids who, yes, you have a decent mix of independent pro wrestlers, and, but you're grooming, what does it say that your future has sold out the Barclay Arena? Now, I don't know if it's a different seating chart that they're going to have for Raw, and obviously they're going to pull everything back for SummerSlam to maximize it, but what does that tell you? That 13,000 sold out. Raw has not been announced as a sellout. SummerSlam has not been announced as a sellout.
According to their media, yes, it has been announced as a sold-out Barclays Center.
For SummerSlam?
Yep.
Okay, what about but when was that announced? Was that announced before or after NXT?
That's actually on a press release on the WWE Network from about a week ago.
Okay, so right around the same time that TakeOver was announced. I mean, I'm not saying SummerSlam won't be sold out, but I mean, have they announced that Raw is sold out?
I have not seen that.
Okay, so what does that tell you, though? I mean, obviously they can't sit there and have TakeOver not be a TakeOver be a sellout, and SummerSlam quote unquote not be a sellout. And obviously your flagship show Raw is not sold out yet, so or at least not announced. So what does that say to you? If you're Vince McMahon, what does that say to you?
Okay, you're assuming that
farm league.
You're assuming that Vince McMahon is actually connected in all of the synapses that run between his ears. It's obvious that he's not. Case point scenario, the fact that they're still run. Okay. Tell you what, let's go to the break, and when we come back, I'm going to put you in the role of being Vince McMahon, having to be held accountable for certain things on WWE TV. Folks, hang tight, going to the break, and we'll be back in 5. This is Beyond Ringside Live.
It's me. It's that D to the O to the double G. Always see next year, near doggy style, the road dog Jesse James, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside. Get it? Got it? Good.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Bearer, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside, my favorite radio station. Oh, yes.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Smart Rage from Wrestle Rage Radio, coming to you from the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join myself and my co-host, Super Stan Grubb, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we present Wrestle Rage Radio, where we rant and rave on everything in the world of pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest. Sometimes it'll be just me and Stan BSing about the sport that we love, pro wrestling. Check us out. Tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, only on the Beyond Ringside Network.
If you're listening to this, then you're listening to the sensational Mickey Knuckles, and you are locked in Beyond Ringside.
2010, after 2 years of constant bullying, 11-year-old Ty Smalley took his own life. In the past 7 years, more than 55,000 children have taken their own lives due to bullying. That's 22 youth suicides every day. Stand for the Silent is a grassroots organization that educates people about the harsh reality of bullying and the devastation it causes, and they need your help. Visit standforthesilent.org to learn how you can get involved and help us to save lives.
I stand for the silent.
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 I'm Roddy Piper, and we stand for the silent.
This is Hector Camacho Jr., and you are locked in with Beyond Ringside. It's Junior time.
As we step into the batter's box for the home run round, 5 minutes after the top of the 7 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone, on this 16th day of August 2015, 1 week from today, SummerSlam from World Wrestling Entertainment, a 4-hour... God. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay this out there. And first off, thank you to everybody who's been listening this afternoon. Greatly appreciated. Daryl, always great to see you in the chat room. Don't forget, even when we're off air, the chat room is open and available over at beyondringside.com. If there, yes, and Daryl actually said ahead of us that it was the Barclays Center. He's smarter than we are on this one. Daryl's actually said he's excited for Owens versus Cesaro. And
I know, right? Remember, I even called it before the last pay-per-view that it would be before the Owens took on Cena for the UFL. Now, of course, I was saying that Owens would win the U.S. title, and it would be Owens Cesaro at SummerSlam for the U.S. title. But, why split hairs? That was close enough.
There you go. Well, I'm going to lay this one on the line.
Well, you do that.
Now, you've got a 4-way tag team event for the tag team title as a part of SummerSlam.
Which is another thing they just announced, but remember I called that last week too.
Yeah. Now
they have no other choice.
Okay. To put this world in proper perspective, you asked me earlier how I felt if I was Vince, and I'm noticing the fact that my farm club, that my developmental territory is basically outselling, in theory and in practical application, outselling my main roster. You're assuming once again that Vince is actually not surrounded by his yes men when he hears this. It just goes to show, Vince, that your people are bringing in the right people. Therefore, it's like, no, hell no. If you are Vince McMahon, Mark Mabo Bowman, not all words put in together, if you, Mark Mabo Bowman, filling in for the role of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, with
Vince
everything
McMabo.
that... Huh?
Vince McMabo.
Vince McMabo. Okay. Honest assessment right now. You, New Day, what do you think?
As me or as Vince McMabo?
Both.
Well, I mean, me personally, I think it was, they definitely, they did the right thing where they turned it around and, it was becoming a negative and turned it into a positive, and turned them heel and definitely flipped it. And probably, I would say they were actually over because they turned that negative into a positive by turning their positivity into a negativity.
And this is the weird. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
But by the same token, when you have something as cheesy and hokey as the New Day, regardless of who's in it, I'm not going to say anything negative about Langston, Kingston, or Woods in any capacity. Screw this part about no first names or last names or whatever the hell. I'm done with that crap. I think it is stupid. I think on Vince's behalf, it's amateurish. It's like, this person had a first name last week. Why don't they have a last name this week? It makes no sense. Because he doesn't feel that the name is masculine enough. There is nothing wrong with Adrian Neville as a name. Although everybody wants to do, even regardless of that, they just still want to sing something with Linda Ronstadt. Old song. There's nothing wrong with him being Big E Langston. There's nothing wrong with Antonio Cesaro. There's nothing wrong with those names. And I feel continuing to put out there one-word names, I don't even like it for the Divas division, for the women's division. I don't like it. It's not something that's... I know he wants it to keep... Look, I know that Vince likes to keep things simple. But once again, Vince McMahon, in all of his intellectual glory, and the man's a genius a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. I think that McMahon has yet once again continued to show that he underestimates the IQ of his viewership. Even the kids get this. And you can keep it simple to the point where it becomes redundant and insulting. But coming back over to it, when you've got something as cheesy and campy and almost overly stereotypical as the New Day, but then you have the Wyatt family, which is cheesy and campy and stereotypical, but over like gangbusters. How do you figure? If you cut one tomorrow, which do you cut?
Now, when you say cut, are you talking about
Take off air?
break up? But I mean, you still keep them within the company. You just put them in a new direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say right now. I mean, they would still be. It would still be Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper. They just wouldn't be. It'd be almost like a losing team just disbands. Correct?
Okay.
Or that's what I'm saying. Are you talking about total gimmick overhauls?
However you want to do it, it's on you.
Well, I mean, I would cut honestly because people are still chanting along with New Day. People are still loving to hate New Day. I would keep them. I mean, you could still have the Fireflies with Bray Wyatt. You know what I'm saying?
But you also had the Fireflies with Harper and Rowan. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, Rowan, he's not even in the picture anymore right now. He's hurt. So.
Right.
I mean, Luke Harper is just one of those you're poised to do something with. He could be the next. When Kane was, Kane would go through his resurgence where he'd be, the big red monster, and then he even got more sadistic when he had the mask. When he took the mask off and he was bald, and then they brought it back and it was sort of that weird wrinkly red, looked like a scrotum mask kind of thing. Luke Harper is poised to be put in that position of the sadistic monster. Not necessarily, I'm not going to say for lackey, but you could definitely fill that monster role with him more than just, psychotic. Believe it or not, a more psychotic version of Bruiser Brody. And not saying that Luke and Bruiser are on the same level. I'm just saying a modern day incarnation.
I can see where you're going with that. I see where you're going with that.
Well, hell, JBL likes to, Marvel. He likes to make the, analogy all the time. Bruiser Brody's a legend, but I think definitely if you wanted a modern day for kids or even adults who never had the chance to see Brody wrestle without having to go look at his tapes, never get to see Brody wrestle in the ring personally. you definitely have Luke Harper.
You said tapes.
Well, tape trader.
Of course.
Hashtag
get them where you can.
Huh?
Get them where you can.
Yeah, I mean, heck, even the DVDs are about to be phased out. Everything's going to be MP3s and MP4s.
Yeah,
Get kids with your MPs. But, no, I mean, you could so put him in that monster role. So, Eric Rowan, look, I mean, I watched him when he was doing the Viking gimmick down at FCW, and then thank God they put the outfit on him, and to me it looks like a sanitation worker's outfit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, Harper does not need Rowan. Bray does not need Rowan. But Rowan needs at least Harper and or Bray.
Right.
Because you see what happened. They tried to make him into almost like a Festus gimmick.
Okay.
But, the man-child, but he was intelligent, though. He was beyond intelligent. So, and you see how, I don't like bullies. You see how well that got over.
Right. Didn't.
I also think WWE had something to do with that. I think they dropped the ball on that. But when Harper was by himself, he was going after the Intercontinental title.
Right.
Remember, he was at WrestleMania. He was in the ladder match. There was a ladder match for the Intercontinental title at Mania.
I know what you mean.
I can't remember. Yeah. So, I mean, Rowan needs them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So, I mean, but, if you had to break them up, Bray's still going to be Bray. Bray's still going to do, the cult leader in your mind, yada, yada, yada. Luke Harper, you could turn loose as a beast. I mean, don't repackage him. Still keep him as Luke Harper. Don't change his gear, because that's just as trust me, somebody with sweat stains like that, I am just as scared of as a guy who sets me on fire. I'm dead serious. Anybody with a beard like that, hair like that, eyes like that, and an outfit like that, I would be running towards Kane, screaming, "Set me on fire! Set me on fire! Set me on fire! This guy's gonna freaking rape me." So.
Tell you what, let me segue real quick, because we're at 16 after the hour and we're going to head for last calls in a second. I'm going to throw this one out there. Based on the matches which have been announced through WWE.com as of broadcast time today, 7:16 Central Time, which match, in your opinion, is under the most pressure to deliver? You mean to run down the ones that are up here real quick? Or do you know what which ones are where?
I don't really know, but go ahead and if you read them off, and I can only pick one. Or
one.
I mean, technically, all of them should be under the pressure to perform, because this is SummerSlam. It's one of the big four. Actually, I'd say big three, because you can't, since they did away with the team thing at Survivor Series.
Well, they only do one team thing normally at the most during Survivor Series, and they do that for throwback reasons, which, as they call it, the old school Survivor Series matchup. But
yeah, so I mean, I'm going to say big three, because you got your big three: Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam.
Right. Taker, Lesnar. Owen, Cesaro.
Owen, Cesaro. I'm going to say yes on that one. One, I mean, I think both men deserve to be on there, but Cesaro is so close to achieving that main event status. The only thing holding him back is his promos, and he's working on that. He's getting better.
The only thing holding him back is Vince. I don't have a problem with Cesaro's promos.
Well, see, that's the thing, is because it fits his style. Everybody knows he's from Switzerland. Everybody knows he's not going to have the best, ability. I mean, the dude speaks like 8 languages anyway.
Yeah,
and that's a shoot. He does speak all those languages. But yeah, I mean, it's really, I do agree it's Vince. But I mean, everybody expects him, Vince to be like, oh, he can't cut a promo. Everybody knows that he's not going to have the best in the world. I mean, very few international stars can. And when I say international, we're not counting Canadians, because they're a whole other group. I mean, Regal can cut one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound, nationalist or anything, but it's just harder for Americans to connect. Your average American wrestling fan, it's a little bit harder for them to connect people with accents. And I'm not talking like a British accent. They can still kind of connect with those, but like from other countries who are trying to speak English,
right,
it's harder for Americans to connect. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's how I see it.
I will agree to a degree on that one. There are a lot of people who can connect because they enjoy the international flair that a lot of companies will bring out. But you're absolutely right. There's also a great number of people who are pro wrestling fans who don't make that connection. I mean, you have some that do and don't connect. Like I say, you can look at it from both sides of the coin. There's that phrase. Yeah. You can look at it's like the Asian wrestlers, Asian, Japanese wrestlers. Some like, some don't like.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm scared for Kenta, Hideo Itami. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, it's a Joe average American wrestling fan. I mean, Tajiri got over as he did, but he didn't really speak that much. So
Tajiri's broken English helped him.
Yeah.
Because remember, especially during the Tajiri Regal run, you had the communication gap that was there, and that added to the personality flair. They kept that in a certain realm. They didn't push it any further than they should have. And that's where I say the writing during that era The writing during the era where Tajiri and Regal were going back and forth, that was intelligent writing. I don't see that much of it right now. I see some, but not nearly enough. But by the same token, I have a near Mensa IQ level. I can read into the subtleties as well as see the overt.
But I also think that Owens has to prove himself because, once again, when you step out from NXT and you move on to the main roster, you're more under Vince's microscope. And we all know that he's cosmetically doesn't look like what Vince and others of the top brass want a WWE superstar to look like. He also works a little bit different. He's got that independent stigma on him, which is something like, once again, something that to me Triple H has kind of waved off. Triple H is like, screw it, the guy can go. But meanwhile, Vince is still looking at it. So I think they have to prove, and you know what, they could go out there and have a 5-star match, and you know what, I would not be surprised if they did. But they could have a 5-star match, and I still think Vince would poop on him. So
of course.
To me, that's because, of for whatever reason. But to me, that's the one that definitely they have to prove themselves, and they will prove themselves. But I think unfortunately, I think it will be in vain when it comes to the light of Vince McMahon, not the fans, not anybody else, but Vince McMahon. But keep going with the others.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out there, and I'm going to agree with Daryl B in the chat room because he said the one that I wanted to use, and he used Taker and Brock. The reason why I say this match is under more pressure than any other match on the card at this point in time, because they have built this during the prelude, during the video packages. They put one statement in there that they should have never put. The rematch that is bigger than WrestleMania. The match that is too big for WrestleMania. Really?
Oh,
yeah. You put that in there? Oh, no. That's no pressure whatsoever. You had a match that had everybody enthralled and captivated and drooling up one side like they were salivating like a pack of wild dogs during that match. All the way to the end. Taker lost. Damn, that sucks. And I'm one of the ones. I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings in Trustville during that match. The minute Taker loses to Brock Lesnar, you could feel the air leave that place. What? It's like everybody in there just went, oof. Fortunately, some people did actually have a breath mint. But, I mean, and when you put the rematch that's too big for WrestleMania, your biggest effing show of the year? Wow. Okay. Really? How much pressure are you putting on Undertaker and Brock Lesnar? Remember, Heyman has been okay throughout this entire run. He's actually not been nearly as vocal as he should have been. But by the same token, they've been building it right. What kind of shape is Taker in? He normally doesn't work this time of year anymore. He's been off during the summer months for the last couple of years. It's, let's show up for Mania. Okay, I'm on vacation for the next 11 months. I'll do a personal appearance. I may make behind-the-scenes trips to tributes to the troops. But other than that, no. You don't see Taker. And Brock Lesnar, in Vince's own words, is a special event. So you've got two of the biggest special events in WWE coming out for SummerSlam and the rematch that's too big for WrestleMania. Oh, boy. Now, that's just But I agree. The build-up for this has been beautifully done. Once again, nobody, virtually nobody in the world of entertainment, in the world of sports, it doesn't matter. Virtually nobody can touch WWE when it comes to the video promo packages because their team is, once again, their team is intelligent and does it right. I don't know how much of a hand Vince has in it. I don't know how much of a hand Kevin Dunn has in it, or Triple H, or anybody else has in the production of these video packages, or Joey Styles for that matter, director of new media. But they get it right. And I'm impressed by that their consistency level is 9.9 out of a 10 most of the time. The Piper dedication video, there's only one thing that was missing from that. Other than that, okay, I thought it was beautifully done, but there is one other thing that I personally would have added. and that would have been at the end. And I've made this reference before, and I'll do it one last time for now. Note the hinge point. At the final interview that Piper did in the empty arena before the back alley brawl with Goldust, when he's sitting there in the stands, and he goes straight to camera and says, "May you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you're dead." That was done on WWE footage. That was done on WWE Library. They've never shown that one piece. And to wrap up the Roddy Piper Memorial, that would have been the one thing that I would have used for the out, because that would have been a beautiful thing. Some people might have thought it would have been overkill. In my humble opinion, as an entertainer, as somebody who's done video production before, I think that would have been the ultimate. I think it would have been beautiful. I think that would have been just as poignant as using the Ultimate Warrior's own words to wrap up his own video package, his own video memorial. But let me go ahead and run these real quick. Like I said, Taker Lesnar, I think, is under the most pressure because of the way that they've done the build-up for this one. I agree with you wholeheartedly when it comes down to the factor of Cesaro and Owens. I think they're going to perform, and I think they're going to blow everybody out of the stands. I think the John Cena-Seth Rollins match is going to be almost negligible at this point because a lot of people see Seth Rollins in the same role that they saw Randy Orton this time last year. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
John Cena coming off the broken nose. I don't know exactly what his stability is going to be, but you and I both know Cena can deliver. Cena will deliver on this one. So I don't think that one's not going to be the one under the most scrutiny, the one that everybody's going to be watching with a microscope. Agree or disagree?
In my opinion, I don't think anybody's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be looked over, but they're not the ones that match is not the one that's really going to be eyeballed. You know what I'm saying?
I think one match that's going to be eyeballed because of all the question marks that are involved in it. How really did King Barrett get involved in the storyline with Stardust, Amell, and Neville?
I don't know.
So that's going to be a huge question mark. They're going, if anything, I'm going to sit back and say Barrett takes the fall. And I'm going to say that this early, and I may go ahead and keep it the same way next week. But also, what are your expectations for Stephen Amell in ring next Sunday for SummerSlam?
Well, somebody said he got hurt training or something. When I was like, well, they were like, he got hurt bad. Turns out I think he just from the way the person described it, from what they read, something to me it sounded like he just forgot to tuck his chin when he took a bump.
Makes sense.
And he bit his tongue.
Ow.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I did see a brief thing of him. You know, it's kind of reminiscent of Bam Bam shoving Lawrence Taylor, but a lot more graceful. You know, it's hopping the guardrail, hopping up the top rope, and then over and then thing. You know what? It's as far as any of the quote unquote celebrity matches that have happened. I got a feeling this is going to be probably one of the more better done. Obviously, seeing Neville doing the lion's share of the work, but all the physicality that Stephen Amell does on Arrow,
right?
Is, especially because there's cardio involved. I mean, he's going to be able to run with all that gear on. He's not one of those that just sits back and lets the stuntman do it. If he can do it, he'll do it. I've seen interviews, I've seen footage. I think it's going to be one of the more better done. But once again, one of the whole, pressure to perform, not really, because everybody knows it's going to be roughly a 2-on-1, and Stephen Amell's not a pro wrestler, sports entertainer, whatever, so they're not expecting too much out of it. To me, it's going to be a dog and pony show.
Perfect analogy. Thank you. I mean, I'm looking at the Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championships, and I'm really not seeing anything that's jumping out at me. It's like the only thing that I have really high expectations from or high hopes for is the appearance by the Lucha Dragons. I believe that they're going to run away with the match. I believe they can impress 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Primetime players, excellent tag team. They have a good style. They have a great, they have good diversity between the two of them. New Day, they are what they are. Los Matadores, I just don't know. I think once again, it's like, that's one of those cases where it's not popping. It's not standing out to me. It's not just jumping up and saying, this is tag team. I mean, you've got 4 good teams in there. The two teams that stand out to me are Lucha Dragons and PTP.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know. I'm trying to, and since especially here lately, I'm just trying to figure out who's got the more ridiculous gate down to the ring. If it's Big E or if it's Kofi.
Kofi's got the biggest. That little skip that he does is just so damn poofy.
No, dude, come on, Big E's weird little canter trot, especially with him being as big as he is, and trot clap.
Dude,
that's what gets me going. Is just laughing at. I mean, Xavier Woods, he comes down, but he's not as animated as those two, and that gets me laughing every time. Is seeing Big E's old big ass doing that weird out in front claps, hoppy skip, and then Kofi with his hair up into pigtails, and they crack me up every time.
I've got to put it like this: I believe it was Monday night on Raw, when after the match was over with, they were dancing in the ring, and I swear to you, I'm not kidding. I want you to go back, look up the footage on this match, look at the way Langston was dancing during that match, and then go back and look at Vince when he is dancing to Stand Back off the wrestling album. Langston stole Vince's dance moves.
Oh, that would be no surprise. I mean, Vince's dance moves from that has been mocked for years. So
yeah, really. The triple threat match is back on. Ryback, Big Show, and Miz. I'm sorry, if they put the belt on Miz, I lose a lot of faith in WWE lack of creative. They're going to have to keep it on Ryback at this point in time because Big Show, I'm heel, I'm face, I'm heel, I'm face in the course of 3 minutes. Really? I think.
Yeah, I definitely think. Well, I mean, this is this is them trying to groom Roebuck. Ryback.
Roebuck?
To see if, Roebuck. This is his Starbuck. This is freaking, Buck Rogers there.
There you go.
They're doing it to groom him to see how he's going to be able to get over as a champion, carry a championship, and possibly maybe one day put him in serious contention for the heavyweight championship.
From there, I have to put it like this. I'm just going to go ahead and say the top 3 things that they should do with that title: 1, keep it on Ryback; 2, put it on Big Show; 3, vacate it. In that order. Miz does not need that belt. There is no help for Miz. I'm sorry. I don't find him to be extraordinarily entertaining. I haven't found him to be that way for a while. And you know me, I have stood up for Miz on more than one occasion. It's just that during this run right now, no, I'm sorry. It's not working. And I don't know what they can do to turn it back around. I really don't. The interview or Miz TV from Monday night when he had Daniel Bryan in there, I thought it was lackluster at best. And for Miz to start using, when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut, it's like, oh, holy effing hell, we're back in 2nd grade all over again. Daryl B also said he learned all of his dance moves from Vince and Stand Back. And Daryl, I can speak for Mabo, we're not surprised, but we are impressed. But I will come back and say my favorite phrase from this year, which I started using because I came up with it. If you can surprise me, I'll be impressed. But if you can impress me, I'll be surprised. One other one, the Wyatt and Harper versus Reigns and Ambrose. I think people are just looking for a good old-fashioned slugfest on that one, and I think this match will be that'll be exactly what they're looking for. It's not going to be a technical masterpiece. It's going because look at the 4 that are in there, and I think actually Wyatt could do it. Ambrose could do it. The other 2, I don't think they could put together a technical masterpiece. I think this is going to be a slugfest. Mabo?
Well, then you've obviously not watched any Brody Lee matches. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Roman Reigns would be the only one I don't think could put on a technical masterpiece. So.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time.
Technical masterpiece?
No. The full sentence.
Fool, if I can remember what I just damn said, I would say it.
The minute the words leave his mouth, they exit his brain. Same off-ramp.
Pretty much.
God love you,
Let's
baby.
wrap this damn show up.
Okay, that's what we're doing right now. Mabo, last call.
No, yeah, repeat that. No, banana sandwich.
With peanut butter? Okay.
But I do also feel that
I actually saw somebody put mayonnaise on a peanut butter sandwich. I mean, on a banana sandwich the other day, and I just had to go, no, just say no.
Yeah, stop. I will throw up on there. I swear to God I will. But I also think that the NXT divas, or NXT women, I'm not going to call them divas, the NXT women, because they just are called women, not divas. But I think the NXT women, even though they prove themselves time and time again, once again, they're the new kids, so to speak. I think they're definitely going to now have to prove that they can perform in one of the big three pay-per-views. So I think there's going to be a little pressure on them to perform in the big three pay-per-views. I expect 0 to nothing out of Alicia Fox. I expect 0 to nothing out of Naomi or Tamina or Hootie McBoob and stick figure tattoo. You know, it's like you just said with your little surprise me if you can, survive if I let you, or whatever. But those are the ones I think that those three ladies, because we know Paige can perform.
Yes,
hands down. You know, so she's out of the equation. Not worried about that. But Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky Lynch, who have tore it up, not just weekly on NXT, but the takeover specials, which might as well be their pay-per-views, you know, their versions of pay-per-views. But this is, you know, this is the pay-per-view. This is one of the big three. This is not like it was last month with Battle Tards or whatever. This is the big three. So, you know, there's going to be that pressure for them to perform on the, probably, what would you say, their third highest stage, second highest?
Yeah.
But, I mean, just because out of, you know, Royal Rumble's my favorite, so I can't really say anything. But technically, I guess SummerSlam, you know, would be the second highest stage you can get right now.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, this is going to prove, this is going to see if they can perform on one of the big stages, not one of the B show, not one of the B pay-per-views, the big stage. But like I said, no disrespect to Tamina. Tamina can wrestle. She's just got 0 personality.
Agreed.
Naomi,
she's regressed.
She has backslid.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to do with her, but she's backslid. Alicia Fox, I think, is gorgeous. But how long has she been with the company? 7 years?
Yep.
Exactly.
Very little forward momentum. Let's take it home. Mabo, last call.
Not going to do any last calls. Don't feel like it. I don't really. I'm going to take my opportunity for the shameless plug. I mean, I'll do the Wicked Nemesis thing later. But for my shameless plug, as we all know, you know, we've talked about on the show, Tim Donst, pro wrestler Tim Donst, CZW, Chikara, AIW. You know, he was diagnosed with cancer. I want to say earlier this year. He went through and he did the thing, and they took care of all that. And he's, you know, made his comeback. Has some matches at CZW and AIW. But go to YouTube and look up Wrestle Donst, D-O-N-S-T, Wrestle. It's his documentary. It started out in February of 2015. That's when he told everybody that his career was over because he had the tumor on the kidney, and it basically, it's a documentary, and it chronicles his, you know, everything that he went through all the way up to, I want to say all the way up to his return. But it's over on YouTube. I'm pulling up YouTube right now, so bear with me just a second. But yeah, it's over on, just go to YouTube and look up Wrestle Donst Wrestle or Tim Donst documentary.
Okay.
It's 30 minutes long, 33 minutes, 43 seconds long. I've had a chance to watch some of it. Definitely, it will bring a tear to your eye. But go check it out. That's my shameless plug right there, and my other statements there. What you said, last call, all that stuff. Go check it out and enjoy.
Reader's Digest Condensed Cut. Wrestle Rage Radio with Mark Rage and Stan takes over in about 19 minutes from right now. And at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Central, is the brand new edition of the Midnight Black Mass, starring the good Reverend Dan Wilson and Andrew Alexander. Beyond Ringside, live programming continues on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio this Tuesday. Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio takes the airwaves at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and then at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, Beyond Ringside Back to Basics kicks over all over again. Of course, and on Wednesday the 19th, the To Be Determined show starring the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design Clyde Braddock, and Angie Nemesis takes it at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. That is this Wednesday, August the 18th. At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course, the home site is BeyondRingside.com. And of course, for everybody listening on the live side, thank you so much. On the replay side, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Podomatic, Podomatic. You can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, and of course, iHeartRadio. Folks, we're going to call it a day. Wrestle Rage Radio comes up in about 18 minutes. For Mark Mabo Bowman.
I also want to say happy birthday to Jennifer Humphreys Smith, or pretty much it's Angie's sister. Today's her birthday, so happy birthday to her.
Cool. For the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis.
Yada, 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 forever forward, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you, Wickbo. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Lane saying until next time, adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abasino, au revoir, until we meet again. Aloha means bye-bye. Join us right here as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.